Welcome, Wendy Mensink, to the Q&A from Collabwith.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
So we have today some questions about graphic design for business success, but as well, you are a very successful woman entrepreneur. So this is super cool to have this, you have all the perspective. Why is so important graphic design for business success and for communication?
Well, the short answer to that is a good design makes you look good and a bad design makes you look bad. But it's really, if you have a messy design, people will perceive you as a messy person or a messy company. And if you do, and with design, I mean your corporate branding, the way you visually present yourself. And if you don't have this, if you don't have a proper corporate branding, you can actually lose customers because of it. Because the first thing that people will do once they hear your name, they will start looking for you, especially nowadays, 21st century, everything is online. If you don't have a solid basis there, you give people maybe a wrong first impression of what you can mean for this person or company. And branding can really help you to get your mission or your message out there and make you start to grow.
Yeah, as well, I knew already the importance of branding and graphic design, but I was doing an entrepreneur course, business class with Sofia Moruso, and we had a chapter in branding, but as well it was embedded in the whole class. And we got the CMO of Airbnb and the CEO of Away, so Jane Rubio, and both they said like the key success factor, it was branding. And as well, the CMO of Airbnb said like, if even in your Instagram or your website, you have completely different styles and graphic designs, you are portraying yourself as a, psychopath or something, like you have, he mentioned the point, like if you are meeting a friend and every time you are meeting him, he's talking in a different way and having different clothes, like you don't trust the person,
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. With branding, you're really creating a visual identity. And that is, it's literally a face you're creating. And it's so important that you do that with a lot of thought and with a proper design.
Yeah. What is for you a good design, and where can we apply graphic design in our business?
Yeah. Well, good design. I think it answers a couple of questions, and a couple of those questions can be: is the mission from the company properly incorporated in this design, for example, in the logo or in colors, the psychology behind colors? And also, does it resonate with its target audience? So if you're focusing on a specific group, is this target audience, would they be attracted to it? How would they react if they would see this? Those are questions that you can keep in mind. And also about good design, especially about typography, everything related to letters, fonts, and type. Bad typography is visible. You only see it when it's bad, and once it's done good or properly, it's like a book that has a certain requirements before it's actually allowed to be published. You read it and it's nice to read. It's the readability is good, and once you start doing typography wrong, it is visible. So yeah, it has to answer questions, but also And your other question, where can we apply graphic design? Well, nowadays in so many fields, from branding, but also in motion graphics or animation, illustration, etc. And the purpose for all of those is for branding especially, is as much for creating trustworthiness, like we already discussed. You can involve your stakeholders in a better way, but also maybe your team, if you have consistency through your styling and your branding. It also helps to get the team on the same page and to get your mission company mission, sorry, yeah, heading in the right direction.
Yeah, that's very curious, because that is true. When you have all, you know, it's like the flags, no, for countries. You are related to colors somehow.
Yeah.
So this is how in a company setup you can relate with the emotions you want to, or these feelings about your brand, or the poetic way of being part of the family.
Exactly. Yeah. And also what will come out of the company if you have a team working on something and they going to communicate their results or innovations or anything. If it's in constantly in a different style that they bring it to the public, it's going to be messy, and that's you have to be very careful with that.
Yeah. But now you are designing, well, you had a company from space technology, but now you are designing for space technology and for space innovative solutions and entrepreneurs. What is the design so specific for space products and services?
I think, well, that's my experience. I've sat through so many presentations, and I had so many wonderful conversations with brilliant people who work on space technology, on space innovation, and but all these presentations, to me, they were super technical and super scientific, and it's at so many points I thought this can be done so much better, but you have to be very careful to tell that to this person. You don't want to hurt their feelings because they're doing such a great job, but you have to look at the goal. If they want to involve stakeholders, or they're looking for investors, or want to expand the team, it is crucial that what you present or how you present it is clear and understandable for everyone. And that is my goal with Void and Visual, to help these brilliant minds in space technology to communicate their innovations, what they're doing, what they want to do, and to communicate this in a way visually that everybody can understand it. And my personal goal behind that is to make space more accessible for everyone, to diminish this barrier that some people might feel, for that it's only pure tech and science, and that space is for everyone.
Yeah, totally. And I think having your experience as well helps to how to communicate better, and what is working, what is not working. And I think it's very important, like you said, if they don't understand or they see it's technical, they have like a barrier.
Yeah.
So graphic design can break the silos and the psychological barriers. That's, even for customers.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, most of the space companies need investors at some point. And if you get investors who don't have knowledge about space technology or this specific field that you're working in, you're going to have a hard time if you're not capable of explaining yourself in a clear way. And that is why where I can help.
So talking about innovation, what do you think innovation and collaboration can relate to graphic design? Because sometimes when someone is thinking to have the first prototype or something to try out, like if we're working for innovation, they think about ugly thing. To have the first version of, I don't know, black and white if you are lucky, but this is very important as well, to have the feedback and the engagement at the same time. You cannot test something super ugly, because then the feedback is not the correct one. So this is a huge dilemma. What do you think about this kind of dilemma between graphic design and innovation and collaboration?
It's a very good question. I think forms of graphic design can help in innovation. It's you can work on what you said, a minimum viable product, for example, or prototyping with start with low fidelity sketches. Start super easy and clear, but that it already involves the message, and it's basically like an entire design path, or what's the word, cycle. You start from scratch. You start with the mission and the goals. What do we want to achieve, and how will that look like? And you can use graphic design there for to visualize your things. And I do believe that not everybody has to think of themselves to be a good drawer, or you have to be very good in Photoshop or something. But this translation thing of making something, an idea, visible, that is, I think that very strongly relates to innovation. Does that kind of answer the question?
No, I am thinking because, in this kind of, as well for innovation in collaboration in the part of the consortiums, in European grants, they have to create always new platforms. And I discuss with them because sometimes they are not working. They are not only ugly, they are not working, like operationally. And I ask them as well, why not you put budget as well in design and UX and experience? Why the people has to suffer so much? and they said, like, no, we have budget for features, no, and functionalities. I mean, like, yeah, but functionalities has, like, it's not only software development. Yeah. That's why I think this kind of, I don't know how to change this mindset, like functionalities is not only software development.
No, you're absolutely right. And I do think it's a delicate line between design versus technology, but it has to go hand in hand. It has to go hand in hand in order to be successful. So yeah, but it can be tricky indeed.
So now the last question is about, what is for you innovation and collaboration?
Well, I think it's innovation is something that is created in how do I put that, in a safe environment where you're able to take the risk, and also you can fail. In order to innovate, you have to fail to know what works not. And collaboration is key in that. You cannot do it alone. And like I said, the safe environment is a psychologically safe environment, of course. And that only works if you have the good team, if you have the right people who have the same mindset, who are on the same page, and who share the same goals as you. And that is where I think innovation can start to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I would like you are finishing with something you would like to say to the audience.
Yeah. Sorry, my voice. What I did think about is, if you are, especially the startup audience that might be listening to this, if you're allocating budgets for example, you got a grant for something, you have the freedom to move and to make next steps, which is fantastic. But if you're allocating the budgets for that, also take in mind the branding. As I said, as soon as you start talking about what you're doing, people will start looking for you. And if what they find is not properly designed, it can work against you. And as soon as you have something, it doesn't have to be much, but what is out there has to look good. And the sooner you start with this, the better. That's really something I can recommend, to take that into mind or into account when you start making plans for your company growth.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wendy. Thank you so very much.
My pleasure.